Good evening and happy Seahawks Sunday, everyone. I know it may not be so happy because the Seahawks, even though it was another close, dramatic Seahawk game, the Seahawks came up a little bit short and lost in overtime. There's a part of me that's not necessarily too frustrated. I mean, it is frustrating a little bit in that it was another game that could have went either way. But at the same time, and it's also a game that the Seahawks definitely had. But I got to give credit to Kyle Murray and Arizona, and I think Kingsbury and the coaching staff of Arizona for pulling out that win. Specifically when in overtime, when the kicker missed that field goal, it felt like just one of them vintage close Seahawk games where Russell Wilson was gonna save us and win another one. And it almost did happen. That last, interception from him did not help. But I will say this, that the mental mindset of Russell Wilson and how he's built and the way he looks at life, I'm not worried at all about how he'll bounce back or what his mindset is even right now into, when they have to play again. I want to say the next game is against the 49ers. How he's going to respond for this week as far as practice and then into the next game. And that's the same, with Pete Carroll and just all the leaders, the Bobby Wagners and KJ Wright and all of them. It's a game that, it's a stunning loss in some ways, but at the same time, like I said, Arizona took advantage of the opportunities. They did the best, and that's how they won. So, so even though I'm not necessarily too frustrated at the loss itself, I am actually more frustrated. There was one call that the refs made. I don't remember what quarter it was, but I feel like Seattle looked like they were, they had the game solid, and it looks like we had potentially a chance to pull away. I want to say it looks like the defense was going to do a 3-and-out. We stopped them on third down, and then I don't remember who the player was on our team, but I felt like it was a bang-bang play on either KJ Wright or Bobby Wagner. But the refs, they threw the flag, got together to discuss it, and still called the penalty on, I think it was unnecessary roughness, which the commentators agreed, and I forget I guess it was like an official spokesperson or whatever. They all agreed that was a horrendous call. And the messed up part was that, obviously Arizona still had to kind of go down the field. But in my opinion, that let the door open for Arizona not only to score points, but to let them back in the game. And it's amplified even more because we didn't win. It would have been nice if we won, and then that would have been a moot point. And I know, refs aren't perfect. But there's a part of me that's frustrated at that because it was bang, bang. And I know they don't have instant replay or whatever to necessarily look at it again. But as you can see, I'm so frustrated by it, I'm coughing now. But, things happen, and I know, I'm sure, we've in the past or in this game, whatever, we've benefited from not so great calls on other teams sometimes. But so it'll be interesting to see if that comes up. I feel like it'll come up, in the local radios and all that. Probably not national wise. We'll see. But yeah, this was, another game, fortunately or unfortunately, depending on how you look at it, that could have went once again either way. And as much as this loss doesn't feel the greatest, there's a part of me that, I don't want to say I believe in balance, but there were plenty of times, especially this season, and even beyond this season, in other seasons where we've had these close games. And as much as we're, now I think 5-1, we could also easily be reversed. you see some of these teams who have not won a game, but they come close even against good teams. And, it's hard, as people say, and it's easy for us fans to say, but it's hard to win in the NFL. And there's a part of me that's grateful that this loss came in a regular season, and thankfully it's only one game. And I feel like the Seahawks just, once again, with Russell Wilson leading the way and Pete Carroll guiding all that, I'm confident that they will bounce back and be focused for the Niners, because the Niners are definitely a team not to overlook despite their injuries on that defense. They came ready to play against the Patriots. And so it's going to be interesting to see how we bounce back. There's a part of me that looks forward to looking at the press conferences for the Seahawks, specifically kind of with Pete Carroll and the other players. But I look forward to, this is going to sound kind of warped on my end, but because Russell Wilson is such a positive guy and, he rarely gets, too high or too low, it'll be interesting to I feel like I know what he's going to say, and that's part of what I like about him. And he'll bounce back. And I believe he's still, in the front of the MVP race without these, even with the interceptions. And I think Seattle will learn from it, and hopefully in the long run, overall, it'll serve us well. There was one side of me that wanted the Seahawks to potentially go, undefeated in the regular season and be like the, Patriots of whatever year that was, 2007 or 2006, I can't remember. But unlike the Patriots of that year, actually winning the Super Bowl. So that, but unfortunately, that is not going to happen because of the loss, and that's okay. Thankfully, the Super Bowls are not won by being undefeated. So we'll see. I think we're still in front of the NFC West, and regardless of the loss, I still like where Seattle is. Even when we were winning, needless to say that our defense. This wasn't on the defense necessarily that we lost this game. Like even in regular, before we went to overtime, we as the offense had the opportunity to close that game, and that's what I was hoping we would do. And then no Carson, in the backfield did not help us. So, not that Carlos Hyde is bad. He's by no means a bad running back. But in my opinion, they're built differently. They have two different running styles. And we definitely could have used, in my opinion, and I know this is kind of Monday night quarterbacking, but we definitely could have used Carson in that final drive in the regular time, and then and obviously maybe even more in overtime. It's uncharacteristic of Russell Wilson to throw those interceptions, but what also did not help him, this goes back to the running backs again. I think it might have been, I don't remember Carlos Hyde doing too many blocks, but number 31, I think it was Dallas. He's learning. I don't know what year this is for him. I don't know if he's a rookie, but there were a few plays where he just had defenders going right past him, and it was like free open season to Russell. And part of that may be on Russell to be able to read that and escape, but those didn't help, and it was putting us, unfortunately, throughout the game in, some third and longs that Russ, for the most part, could overcome. But all those amount to, putting, even more pressure on the quarterback than is needed, and also on that offensive line. So the offense is not blameless, obviously, but, obviously I think the defense, even though it held up at times, unfortunately, it bit us, which I kind of had a feeling if we were ever going to lose this season, which we did, it probably would be on the defense for not being able to hold up. But once again, thankfully, it's only one game. And, I'll just leave it at that. I'm blabbing on. This is the longest video I did. But like I said, I think the Seahawks are going to bounce back, and brighter things are coming. So the best is yet to come. And that'll be that. So on to the Niners. Go Hawks.